Coming up this morning. President Akufo-Addo issues a strong condemnation of acts of hooliganism that have marred the aftermath of Ghana's December 7 polls. Also this morning, the fate of two outstanding constituencies remained shrouded in uncertainty after Electoral Commission halted recollation of results following missing pink sheets. And we have details as the National Democratic Congress vows to turn Ashanti region into its stronghold after snatching 7 seats from the MPP. We have details coming up shortly. Please do stick and stay. Well, in our first story, the fate of two outstanding constituencies remains shrouded in uncertainty as the Electoral Commission works to recollate results following issues with missing pink sheets. Well, the constituencies are Ablekuma North and Dom Kwabena. On Saturday, the New Patriotic Party won all 7 out of the 9 constituencies' results. This follows an Accra High Court's order for the resumption of the recollation. The constituencies are Obuasi East, Okaikwe Central, Tema Central, Nsawam Adwejiri, and Ahafo Ano North. Now the rest are Ahafo Ano South, West, and Techiman South. Meanwhile, the National Democratic Congress, on the other hand, has officially rejected the recollated parliamentary election results, threatening to have the last laugh. This delay has left political watchers and stakeholders in suspense as the final tally could bolster the NDC's side margin of victory. I'll stay on the elections, and the New Patriotic Party supporters in the Techiman South constituency took to the streets in jubilation on Saturday after the Electoral Commission declared incumbent MP Martin Techiman South as the MP-elect for the constituency. Martin Techiman South secured victory with 46,663 votes. Let's listen to some supporters of the MPP who emphasized or expressed delight at the declaration.
We thank the Almighty God for how far He has brought us. Honorable Martin Techiman South, our MP, won convincingly. In fact, he won over 3,236. And we don't know what happened. In the process of collation, and all the parties, we have our internal collation. We did our worst and we saw that we've won. They thought that we don't have anything like evidence to prove we've won. But God being so good, we had a soft copy of everything, and we brought it, and EC has collated everything and declared that Honorable Kosa had won. In fact, he has won convincingly. We thank the Almighty God. In fact, this call for jubilation. The presidency we've lost, but this one we've won. So, in fact, we are all jubilating, thanking God, and this Xmas is going to be, it's going to be wow.
God being so good, after collecting everything, it came out clearly that Honorable Martin Techiman South won the election convincingly. So we are grateful to Techiman, we are grateful to God, and we are grateful to everybody, whoever wants the truth, and they follow the truth. And today it has been clear to everybody that Honorable Martin Techiman South won the elections without any problem.
He has worked very hard for this position. If I mean to tell you a lot of projects he has done in Techiman South, you'll be surprised. A lot of things we have never even dream of having it.
Well, a former chairman of the National Development Planning Commission, Professor Stephen Adair, says Ghanaians will pay a hefty price if the chairperson of the Electoral Commission is removed from office on political grounds. Now, he added that any attempt to remove the Chief Justice will equally be disastrous. In an interview on hot issues, the development economist called for the strengthening of state institutions rather than political appointments by elected governments.
In the midst of controversies and disputes surrounding some parliamentary election result, the Electoral Commission chairperson Techiman South has faced significant criticism. Her troubles did not begin recently. Events leading up to the December 7 elections raised doubt among her critics. The chaotic recollation and subsequent redeclaration of some parliamentary results have only intensified calls for Jane Mensah's removal from office. However, leadership expert Professor Stephen Adey warns that removing both the Electoral Commission chairperson and the Chief Justice would be a recipe for disaster.
It will be disastrous, especially initially in his term. He will be consolidating a very bad practice which will not augur well for Ghana's future, whereby every president basically appoints a new electoral commissioner. Hopefully, if what has gone on, Jean may decide to resign herself. Then that is.
Professor Adey, along with many others, believes that instead of targeting the leadership of these institutions for political reasons, there is a need to strengthen state institutions.
If they touch the Chief Justice by political removal, and not because he has done something that requires impeachment and goes through an impeachment process, I and you will pay a heavy price for it.
Meanwhile, a fresh petition for the removal of Chief Justice Gertrude Torkornoo has made waves. The petitioner is citing alleged misbehavior and incompetence as the basis for the petition. Professor Adey urges that the country should not be polarized, warning that hasty decisions regarding key state institutions could cause irreparable damage.
The question is this: the Chief Justice must not work well with Akufo-Addo or Mahama. He must be seen to uphold the law. And therefore, if she is not upholding the law, then you go through the justification, the impeachment, and everything else. For example, some say that incompetence, you will be found very difficult to prove incompetence. It's easier to prove corruption.
In other news, Professor Adey has commended President-elect John Dramani Mahama for forming the Operation Recover or Loot Oral team.
It shows, hopefully, that his seriousness to deal with corruption. I wish it would be kept as it is in terms of trying to unearth things and holding, say, OSP, OICO, and other things accountable and shrug to follow them up and prosecute them and the rest.
Christian Yale, TV3 News.
Now on to some more stories, and President Akufo-Addo has issued a strong condemnation of acts of hooliganism that have marred the aftermath of Ghana's December 7 polls. Well, according to him, the excesses being recorded are as a result of the NDC emerging victorious in the just-ended elections. He also expressed confidence that future generations will recognize and appreciate his legacy. Now, the president was speaking at the launch of the Presbyterian Church of Ghana's bicentennial anniversary in Accra.
However, it is with deep concern that I acknowledge the unfortunate incidents of post-election hooliganism, vandalism, and violence that followed. Incidents which threatened to tarnish the beauty of our democratic exercise. Such acts were completely unnecessary and are wholly unacceptable. They must never reoccur. It is particularly regrettable that these unfortunate disturbances appear to involve some executives and sympathizers of the victorious party, the National Democratic Congress. As a nation, we must be resolute in our commitment to safeguarding peace, stability, and the democratic values we have worked so hard to establish.
Now, the National Youth Organizer of the National Democratic Congress, George Opariado, has given the strongest indication that the NDC is on a mission to turn the Ashanti region into its stronghold. Now, addressing party supporters at the Thanksgiving service by the youth wing of the NDC, George Opariado admitted that much work, however, needs to be done to achieve the expected results.
Party supporters, sympathizers and members of parliament and the youth were in attendance of the Thanksgiving Worship and Praise event organized by the youth wing of the National Democratic Congress. The event was held to thank God for the party's victory in the December 7 polls, while supporters prayed for the president-elect, John Dramani Mahama, as he awaits to be ushered into office on January 7. The NDC is poised to deliver its promises to the Ghanaian people and work to revive the economy, which was a major decider in the December 7 polls. National Youth Organizer of the National Democratic Congress, George Opariado, maintains that the NDC is on a mission to capture and make the Ashanti region its stronghold.
Ashanti region, and let me assure you, all things being equal, God willing, we will turn Ashanti region around and make it an NDC stronghold. We are not going to see the Ashanti region anymore to the NPP. We love you. Because now we know that if we work in there, we will get what we are looking for.
Former Minister of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration, Hannah Tete, expressed concerns about the posture of the country's elections management body and urged for a reset of the commission.
The way in which they have engaged has not exactly allowed people to have confidence in their objectivity and neutrality. And I think that one of the lessons learned for the commission after the election should be, how do they also do a reset? Because if they don't do a reset, I really worry as to what people's perceptions will be of the Electoral Commission's, again, neutrality and competence in the elections that we have coming in the future. There has to be a significant review and think about what they are going to do differently in order to retain and to enhance the confidence the public has in them, because at the moment I think it's at an all-time low.
The former Ewutu Senya West MP said she is not expecting any appointment in the next NDC government.
Would you want to serve again in this government?
I think it's appropriate that we allow another generation to also take the lead, because that's how we create the pipeline.
In 15 days, the president-elect John Dramani Mahama will be sworn into office. Stanley Niblew, TV3 News, Accra.
Now, President-elect John Dramani Mahama has reaffirmed his commitment to continuing the free senior high school program, emphasizing that the initiative remains a priority for his administration. Now, during a courtesy call on him by the Vice-Chancellor of the University of Ghana, Professor Nanaba Pia-Amfo, the President-elect attributed challenges facing the program to a lack of dedicated funding, among others.
There's a crisis across the whole education value chain, not only at tertiary. Over the last 8 years, basic education has become worse than it ever has. There's a lack of funding. The over-concentration on secondary education has left basic education hugely unfunded. Even though a lot of money is going into the secondary level, it does not come from a dedicated fund, and there's a lot of waste and inefficiency in the way it is being spent on the free SHS. And then at the same time, tertiary education is also stuffed of funding, because the GET fund that was a good source of funding has been collateralized, and so 60% of the GET fund has been spent in advance. That is a crisis, in our educational system. And that's why I suggested that we should hold a National Education Review Conference and look at what all the bottlenecks are. The interpretation was given that I wanted to abolish free SHS, and that's why I was calling for that meeting. And so I believe that there are nuggets of wisdom that will come out in a stakeholder consultation like this. And so we look forward to working with you on it. I think that we're going to form an organizing committee that would include people from tertiary, educational experts and others, to put this whole review conference together. The free SHS has come to stay, and we're not going to cancel it. We want that it has some dedicated source of funding, because one of the major constraints is that resources and funding are not available at the right time. I want to use this opportunity to tell the headmasters and all of them, you are free to talk now. Come out with what your issues are, so that together we can find a solution to the challenges that we face in the educational sector.
Now, away from that, as the festive season approaches, the demand for beautifully crafted hampers and baskets is rising. Markets are bustling with activity as traders, including market women, capitalize on the increase in demand for Christmas hampers. Once sold by special vendors, hampers are now a popular addition to market stalls, offering convenience and variety for shoppers.
The appeal of ready-made gift packages continues to drive sales, with traders hopeful for increased demand as the festive season peaks. However, some business owners are reporting mixed results as they navigate the challenges of the current economic climate. Na Akusoa, a vendor who sells hampers at the Makola market in Accra, mentions that sales have been slower than usual compared to previous years. While the festive period is typically a business time for her business, this year has not yet reached the expected volume of orders.
The sales is going very slowly because I don't know, maybe they will come. The hampers, they are expensive because I think that's why they are not coming, but they will come. By all means, they will come.
Na Ayoko, a hamper maker who also supplies materials for crafting hampers, shares a similar sentiment. While sales have been slow, she remains hopeful and optimistic about better days ahead. Despite the slow starts, she believes the demand will pick up as the holiday season progresses. Many are adapting to the market uncertainty by adjusting their product offerings or diversifying their services.
Sales have been moving small. We are looking at what God will do in the coming days. We have the hampers in types and we use quality items. If someone comes with their own items and they want us to use it for hampers for them, we do that too.
Yao, a skilled basket weaver, has faced a decline in sales due to rising production costs. In response, he has adapted by branching out and crafting furniture such as chairs and beds during slower periods. His ability to diversify his work demonstrates the adaptability and ingenuity of local artisans who rely on their craft to sustain their livelihoods. Despite these challenges, Yao remains hopeful that the demand for traditional items like hampers and handcrafted goods will increase as the holiday season gains momentum.
We were hoping for things to pick up after the elections, but it did not. We have our normal sales we make every day with the purchasing of furniture, wardrobe and chairs. But when it's time for election, most of the sales comes from the baskets we make because of the hampers. Although this year we didn't get enough money to work with, the few baskets we made have been sold out.
He, along with many others, is counting on the festive season to revive business and provide much needed boost to their sales.
Now, a consultative meeting for the establishment of an Ecowas Youth Parliament has taken place in Accra. A former Secretary General of the Ecowas Parliament, John Azuma, says the establishment of an Ecowas Youth Parliament would give voices to the youths across the West African states in order to participate in the governance processes.
Several civil society organizations, including the Foundation for Security and Development in Africa, FOSDA, Oxfam and West African Youth Alliance have teamed up to push for the establishment of the ECOWAS Youth Parliament in response to the growing understanding of the value of youth in building resilience and peaceful societies. The consultative meeting was to push for the agenda which is aligned with the ECOWAS Strategic Objective 5 of building ECOWAS into a community of people fully inclusive of women, children and youth. A former Secretary General of the ECOWAS Parliament, John Azuma, said the many coups in Africa could end with the establishment of a youth parliament.
Objective of ECOWAS was a larger market, that would be able to take care of our sub-regional needs. So if you keep shrinking, then it's a source of worry, concern. So we are not happy.
Executive Director of the Foundation for Security and Development in Africa, Theodora Williams-Anti, said young people are victimized anytime there are coups in Africa.
There's no voice, established platform for young people to directly involve themselves and to directly participate in decision making. And so we think that ECOWAS Youth Parliament, within the ambit of the ECOWAS Parliament, is a very, very important platform for West Africans' youth voices to be heard and then for them to participate in decision making.
The Ecowas Youth Parliament, when established, will be the first in the AU community and few across the globe. And in sports, the Black Galaxies have a tough task to qualify for the 2025 CHAN tournament after they were held to a 0-0 draw by Nigeria at the Accra Sports Stadium earlier on Sunday.
So it's all over here at the Accra Sports Stadium where the Black Galaxies of Ghana have drawn goalless with Nigeria. The first leg of this CHAN qualifier didn't go as planned because the Galaxies were looking at getting the victory before the second leg in Nigeria. Coach has expressed disappointment with the result, but it's of hope that when they go to Nigeria, they would get the result.
The game plan was really to take some spaces of the in the game and to be very wary of their transitional strengths, and so we played to our strengths, and then we try to limit their possibilities because they are also very dangerous in the transitions, and then also dangerous with the set pieces. So these are areas that we really focus on, and it's positive. With a scoreless draw, the game is open, and we've seen each other, and they'll plan around us, and equally we will also plan heavily against them on Saturday.
Chances were far and few in this game. They created little, so Albert Amua, who has been one of the top scorers in the Ghana Premier League, especially for Kumasi Asante Kotoko, was left to feed on scraps. He didn't get enough chances. Nigeria created the better of chances and even went on to hit the woodwork, but the game has ended goalless. Let's see what happens next week when Ghana versus Nigeria in Abuja. Mutalaya Akubu for TV3 in Accra.
And that's our wrap up the 6 a.m. news right here on TV3. My name is Judith Brown. A pleasure coming to you always. Do stay tuned for the rest of New Day.